This past summer, heat of July, I discovered once again how much fun it is to fish the traditional Au Sable Wet Skunk, which is, well, it's a wet fly. So we fish it twitched in and around the weed beds and log jams on the Au Sable. It's super visual and fun to fish. When it comes to summer streamers, it's really one of our most effective patterns. And it's been around for a long time. So not only is it good at catching trout, really nice bass fly, bluegill fly, whatnot. But man, when you got a morning full of tricos and an evening full of tiny blueing olives, getting out there in the middle of the day and wet wading and fishing this fly on like some, like an 8.5, 5 weight is, I don't know, it just opens summer up a bit more. And then you take it, it's a really fun fly to fish upstream on creeks as well. So it's an uneducated trout is particularly susceptible to the Madsen skunk, but it's amazing how many good fish will come out from under wood in the middle of the day when trout aren't supposed to do that, especially on our river, and chase down and eat or at least flash at a Madsen wet skunk. So way I tie mine, you can use calf tail for this step. I've been using rabbit. You can use just off of a rabbit strip, white rabbit. And my tail's about half to a third as long as the body. And I just fill in that gap from the lead free. I use 0.2. And is that what I use? I use 0.02 for that. And get your tail on there. You do not want a long tail. I experimented with long tails years ago. They don't seem to work as well. You can even use crappy deer hair, white deer hair for this step. The most important thing is setting the rubber legs right, which we're gonna do here soon. And then I like, the way I'm gonna tie it is, even though it's a wet fly, I put deer hair on the top, and I think that helps. The floating nature of the deer hair on top helps it ride straight, because any fly tied with a bunch of rubber legs that's meant to be stripped can spin, and you don't want your fly to spin. So rubber legs on. What I do is I keep my rubber legs together, like I tie them in together, and I just split them with my nail, like so. There it goes. That way, so I get them the same length. There we go. And then I pull them, oops, down like that, down like that. And then I'm gonna wrap up. So there's gonna be 2 sets of rubber legs on this fly. And it's a lot easier to do, in my opinion, 1 step at a time. And I'm still getting used to my camera orientation, so I apologize. I have to tie kind of around it. Go 1 between, and then in front, nice and tight to them. There you go. That's how you want it to look. Now we're gonna wrap up to here and trap this chenille like that. Throw the chenille into this material clip there. All right, we're off to a good start. Next set of rubber legs. So I like to fish this fly in erratic twitches. You can do this fly without ever stripping. You just cast, maybe, you gather slack, but you cast at the wood. Use the rod tip to activate the fly. Twitch, twitch, twitch. The water's crystal clear. If something's following, well, keep twitching. And if something's not following, just throw it at the next foot down on that log. It really is pocket fishing. It's making pocket water out of non-pocket water on our river. Our pockets are little cuts in the jams and stuff, in the log jams, little pockets in the weeds, underneath cedars along the bank. Super, super fun. Another way people will fish this is as a trailer fly in a 2-streamer rig, or I guess you could use it as a teaser. It's excellent fly in July, as I said, but also pretty darn good in September, especially when the brook trout are kind of getting frisky. So a lot of people will stop. This is where that camera's getting my way. A lot of people will stop right here at this step, but I think if you do that, you run the risk of a fly that wants to twist. So I'm gonna get my legs just tidied up just a bit here. Okay, feeling good about that. All right, so I find putting some deer hair on the top of the fly helps it ride straight and keeps it better orientated to the bottom, which means your fly's not twisting. And though you can always use a swivel, my experience is fish don't really like a fly that's doing circles while you're retrieving it. I'm gonna stack that again. I've had success tying this in different colors. This is the traditional, obviously. It's a skunk colorway. And so if this were a dry fly, I'd be like, oh, twice as much deer hair and all that. But I'm just gonna go right to the end of the chenille, switch hands. And so then I clip it, so it's square. Oh, I lost some there. Bummer. Soft wrap and flare. Tuck some thread wraps into that soft wrap. Now, I'm gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna go like that. What you want is a nice big X in the top there. Get that straightened out. There we go. 1, 2. Back over, complete that X. And up to the front. Build a quick head. And it's really that simple. You can crank these out at a pretty good clip. Size 6, 8, a 10, even in a long shank. The fly's proportions start to look weird, and it swims with less substance, meaning it jerks around a lot. And I think calorie-wise, it's just not worth it to the fish. So I think a 6 and an 8 long shank 2220 Daiichi or similar is the way to go with this fly. I'd say tie 3, 4 of each and put them in the summer box. Great way to cover water and break the monotony of fishing little flies for little trout.